Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes for Wednesday, the 13th of October. Starting off with Audio Boo, which has updated the market today, and decent results, and broker note, I think, as well. They're looking for £13. Technically, we're looking for 15 at the top of that broadening triangle from the beginning of the year. That could be seen by as soon as the end of the year while we hold above £10, which has become new support for the shares. Stock which has delivered a decent charting setup and execution over the recent past has been Caspian. We had that resistance there around the 3p level. That was then tested 2 or 3 times as support over August and September, a bit like Audio Boom has done. Then the gap higher today through resistance, showing this fresh momentum behind the stock. We should be looking for a target up towards 5, maybe 5.25, perhaps as soon as the end of this month. Only back below 3.5p now, the recent swing support delaying the upside scenario on Caspian. On to Phalanx, and gives us the view that cybersecurity stocks are looking a little bit more healthy these days. We had the falling wedge break at the end of last month. That was around a penny. Made good progress since then. We've got a rising 200-day line at 1.2p, and above that, looking for that resistance line projection from back in August last year, as high as 1.9p, perhaps as soon as the end of next month. So looking more chirpy on Phalanx at the moment. Stock which was on the back foot certainly over the recent past was GCM Resources, and here we've got a situation where decent bullish divergence there. We had a lower low for September, October, around the 3 to 3.9p, 4p area. Much higher RSI low there, and that suggests that we should at least hit the 6.6p area, which is that resistance line from April. Best case scenario target on a weekly close above that April resistance line, as high as 10p at the top of a May triangle on the shares daily chart. This stage anyway back below 4.5p, really delaying the upside scenario. That was recent intraday support for the shares. Bit of a flurry today in Hemogenics. Here you can see that the shares, I think I last looked at them on the 4th of October, which was probably around this sort of area, actually before it broke out of that triangle, and the shares delivered in the sense that the idea was that there would be a move to the upside because the 50-day line was rising, and that's proved to be the case. Just missed the 3.2p, 3.3p target that we had for the shares, but maybe another time. And the upside valid at the moment while we hold above around the 2.3p area on an end of day close basis. So above that, then we are relatively certain that this is not a one-day wonder bull trap, but let's see how we go with that 2.3p notional support. Onto a stock which is a bounce back play. Parsley box, here you can see that the shares a bit complicated, but let's say neckline resistance around the 50p, the 43p level. Above that on an end of day close basis, we're looking at 60p, which was resistance on the way up. In fact, the initial October resistance, so above 43, looking for as high as 60, perhaps as soon as the end of this month. Moving along to Rainbow Rare Earths, which unveiled a premium placing this morning. Nice bounce off the 200-day moving average there at 14.5p, let's call it. Above that on an end of day close basis, we could see a new leg to the upside. That could be up towards the top of a broadening triangle from back in February as high as 22p, and that could be seen perhaps as soon as the end of next month. Good news as well from Rambler in terms of at least in terms of the market reaction to the bridging short-term finance that the company's managed to get. We managed to break out of that falling wedge at 20.25p, and above that, looking forward to a push towards as high as 28.29p initially, maybe by the end of this month, which is a resistance line projection from back in August. The big plus point as far as the recent lows are concerned is that the RSI actually didn't go as low this time on the lower lows than it did in August, so that bullish divergence should allow for positive momentum to build here. and even take the shares up to the 200-day line at 31 pence if we can get to the upper 20s relatively quickly, i.e. in the next week or so. Just a couple of stocks to go now. Here we've got Shoe Zone, which I suppose is bouncing back post-pandemic. Here we've got a break of that resistance line there from June. The top of the rising trend channel from back in November as high as £1, and a decent end-of-day close or a weekly close above 80 pence, which is basically 2021 resistance. Should take us up to £1 as soon as the end of next month, only back below 70 pence, really delaying or cancelling the upside scenario. Finishing off with the type of stock I don't normally look at, but it's so good technically at the moment that it's difficult to resist. Here we had a break, a gap through resistance, June resistance that happened at the beginning of last month. Another gap which is unfilled, so we've got two unfilled gaps to the upside, and I believe we've got a gap higher today, but basically above the neckline resistance and the initial October resistance of £3.50. We're looking to as high as £4.40 at that October resistance line projection, and that could be hit as soon as the end of next month. But very solid looking situation there at Yellow Cake. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.